Members of the paper transport leadership team recently sat down to talk about culture and how our team plays a part in that. Hope you enjoy.
I've always said that we're just support staff, because no one on our leadership team has ever earned $1 of revenue for this company. The drivers earn the money, they earn our revenue, and then the office staff is the support on top of that. So the real role of the leadership team is to support the people that work for us, to really support the whole organization. It's to set that direction, but then also lead by example.
There's always an open door, so anybody in this company can come walk in and talk to myself or Becky or Joe or Jeff about an issue, and ultimately that's what makes it feel good. I remember earlier in my career, it wasn't about the title or where you were headed, but if I have the ability to actually talk to a high-level leader and have the sense that they were actually listening and cared about my perspective on things, that meant the world to me. And I believe that generally speaking, that's what people want. They want this team camaraderie. They want this environment where they all feel like they have a voice and their voice matters. So that's really important to us.
Well, I'll say one of the things that enables the goal of being a leader is to share information, right, and to set direction. Right? That's the goal of being a leader. One of the things that enables it, I think it's one of the things I appreciate most about being part of this team, is the opportunity to learn about everything else going on in the organization. So kind of pairing together, Ben's thoughts on sharing information and learning about the different functions of the organization. It helps us set the goals of the organization and drive that through our teams.
I would say the goal for me as a leader was for the team and the company to be successful. And I believe the best way I did that was just by helping the people that worked with me on whatever they were working on. I never felt that I did anything great or awesome as a leader, but I felt the most successful. I had the most successful days when I helped someone else accomplish a project that they were working on, or gave them the information they needed or the resources they needed, and then they became successful. So that was really my goal, was to help other people be successful, and that's how we achieved everything we did.
So one thing that separates paper transport from a lot of companies is just our culture and really how we deal with people and treat everybody with respect and dignity. And one of the most important goals as a leader is really to protect and defend that culture, because ultimately that is what differentiates us and that's what makes us successful. It's not the strategy, it's not the initiatives. What really makes sense and actually puts all this in motion is how you treat people, how you behave, and that's our culture.
I think with motivating your team, coffee always works, caffeine always works, but sometimes it's just not getting in their way, right? Just giving them the freedom to run with an idea or run with a project and likely achieve success or maybe learn some things along the way. And I think laughter is really important. You gotta have some fun at work.
If you got the right people on the team, it's actually really easy to motivate them. All you gotta do is communicate the plan. Most people like to win. As long as you have people on your team that are there for the right reasons and they trust each other, motivate, communicate a plan, and that should be motivated enough to people that want to win and want to be successful to just go out and get it done.
Yeah, for me, straightforward, they ideally set clear guidelines as to what the expectation is, and set the goal out there, communicate the goal. Also for me, I like to set out stretch goals, and encourage the team to achieve more than can be done. So that's kind of step one. With step two being, when we get there, let's celebrate that. Right? Let's recognize the win and celebrate that. However, the team likes to do that. Whether that's with food days or just a hey, we did it.
So I've shared, over the years I've helped recruit a couple of people to come work here. And maybe this is really lame, maybe it's silly, but I tell people the number one reason to work at Paper Transport is because of the people you get to work with. The people that are here, the culture that we have, all we we do is run trucks. We don't do anything glamorous and great. But the people that you get to work with and that experience of working with that team is the number one reason to come here.
And I think for me, when I'm, interviewing candidates and talking about PTI, and we talk about our mission, build a great place to work and the values that drive that. We have a lot of culture statements that drive our decision making. My personal favorite is assume positive intent. And I talk to candidates about that a lot. That if you're coming into a meeting or into a conversation and all of your coworkers are assuming, hey, you're coming at it with the right approach, you wanna do the right thing, you're not trying to, mess this up or make a mistake, it just really kind of changes the tone of all of your conversations. It builds that trust that we've talked a lot about in this conversation. I always kind of play more on that. Culture statement's one of my favorites.
So the advice I give to emerging leaders or people that want to make that next step is really, the first step is really to try to think up a level. So, all of us get stuck in the role and responsibilities that we're in, knowing that that next step is going to be different. And what you're doing in your current role isn't necessarily going to make you successful in that next role. So one piece of advice that was given to me a number of years ago was really, hey, how do you think at that next level? How do I get in the head of who my boss was? How would they think about this issue? And that's really helped me actually formulate and change maybe the response that I will have. The other piece of advice that I would give to someone is just to be, if you're always worried about what that next role is and moving up, it's never going to be exactly what you think it is. So if you just go out there and crush it in your role and continue to do good, try to think up a level, that's going to get you much further than always having your sights on that next role and what you're going to do, because the only thing is certain is your career path is not going to be exactly how you lay it out in your head, and just seize those opportunities as they come up.
And really for me, to answer maybe both questions at the same time, what's great about working here and how do you think about the next role, or how do you think about stepping on, is for me, what's great about being here and the way to step up is that change is possible. This is a place that encourages improvement. This is a place where we try to be better tomorrow than we are today. And I think by seeking to do that, by creating change, by changing yourselves or maybe a process that you're doing, it demonstrates that step up, it demonstrates that different thinking, and this is a place that encourages that.
Well, I hope you enjoyed learning more about the culture at Paper Transport as well as the leadership team. Have a great day.